Which sports and active nutrition industry trends do I predict will be the biggest in 2023? So it's that magnificent time of year again where my content creation morphs into a collection of top five lists that either gives me the chance to highlight key insights from the last year or provides me with the opportunity to put my reputation on the line as a forward leaning CPG strategist and make predictions about the coming year. Believe it or not, this will be the fifth annual list of sports and active nutrition industry trend predictions. Many of you know that I cut my teeth in the sports nutrition space. Plus, I've always believed the best and brightest companies in the sports and active nutrition space are the influential epicenter for the entire CPG industry. So, there's always this like extra layer of maybe self-generated pressure that I put on myself to come up with insightful and impactful trend predictions in this particular content piece. Also, for those that are new to my content, I only have one big rule for these annual trend prediction lists. I don't allow carryover predictions from previous years. This makes it more challenging, but also a little bit strange because trends are typically multi year in nature, with the strongest ones lasting a decade or more. So, if you have some extra time and want to multiply your insights, I'd suggest checking out my previous annual sports and active nutrition industry trend prediction content pieces. They're still hugely relevant and packed with value. This year's top five sports and active nutrition industry trend predictions is super cool because it's powered by one of my favorite ingredients, cognizant. Whether it's for work, exercise, gaming, or just everyday life, cognizant is the gold standard for focus, mental energy, and comprehensive brain health. Give your customers an award winning ingredient for brain health with Cognizant. Learn more by visiting cognizant.com. But enough with the delays. Let's jump into this year's list. These are in no particular order, but here are five of my predictions for the biggest sports and active nutrition industry trends that I think you'll be seeing play out in 2023. This kind of first trend prediction is one that might surprise you that I haven't mentioned before, but I'm calling it gut performance. Yes, the rise of gut health has been going on for much of the last decade. Yes, the mainstreaming effect within the sports nutrition industry has also been going on for much of the last decade. Yet, I'm going to guess most users of sports nutrition products wouldn't name gut health ingredients in their performance optimizing must haves. That starts to materially change in 2023 as both the supply side and sports nutrition brands work on drawing a straighter line between gut health ingredients and their ability to improve athletic performance and exercise endurance benefits. Now, the next sports and active nutrition industry trend prediction is related to the current economic environment. I'm going to call this one Load Up on Only What You Need. I'm not going to be the guy that jinxes everything by saying the R word, but probabilities are high, and consumer behavior around it will matter a lot. Unless something takes a turn with China from a public health perspective, runaway inflation seems to be under control within the sports nutrition industry. Yet, prices should remain quite elevated throughout the year. So, price elasticity of demand that looked slightly lower than estimates in 2022 could turn bad quickly if predicted macroeconomic job loss happens, eliminating spending power for millions of Americans. How does the sports and active nutrition market adapt? Well, if we're thinking about this from a consumer standpoint, I see them being more cautious and seeking value. That could come from trade downs, not from private labels, since that has low categorical penetration, and the largest categorical retailer announced it was exiting much of that anyways, but into more of like focused offerings. As an example, if you're a pre workout buyer and your normal product of choice has a stacked ingredient deck that provides both top tier pump and energy, yet you only really need energy, why pay for the unwanted benefits when times are tight? You will also see consumers trading out of certain kind of nice to have categories. While I think consumers will continue to invest in themselves, and those secondary or tertiary categories will still be resilient, spending power will further shift towards those must haves. On the brand side, I expect a few things to happen. One, these stakeholders will ensure products are positioned not just as affordable, but also essential for consumers. Secondly, they will look to simplify product portfolios and double down on delivering quality over quantity inside of formulations. Thirdly, they will start offering more economical bulk options in their top selling flavors of top selling SKUs to help consumers save money. Now, to piggyback off of that last trend, my third prediction is what I'm calling Big Brick Poppin'. And you might be wondering why I came up with that silly name, and it's inspired by today's morning workout playlist that was really heavy on late 2000s hip hop. But getting us back on track, it wasn't long ago that retail pundits were saying online spending would permanently leap ahead by 5 or even 10 years because of COVID-19 effect tailwinds. Hey, I'm on team e commerce. There's no doubt that it currently is and will continue to be an incredibly important sales channel for the caps, powders, pills side of sports nutrition. But everyone got a little overzealous with predicting the stickiness of those pandemic trends. That's why you saw things flip back to normalcy in 2022, with spins data showing that brick and mortar was the dominant channel, winning around 80% share of dollar sales and contribution to growth by the back half of the year. With that big R word, likely this won't be the easiest retail environment, regardless of offline or online. But here's why I predict brick and mortar again wins the majority share of dollar sales and contribution to growth in 2023. Firstly, large retail channels from grocery stores to mass retailers to convenience stores have drastically expanded the breadth and depth of sports and active nutrition merchandising over the last few years. Secondly, not only have they done a great job with their merchandising strategy, but large retailers have also started to rebrand themselves overall within the health and wellness halo. That might be offering on site nutritionists or nurses. Maybe they're leveraging in store testing or just integrating technology layers in shopping apps to help the shopping experience be more valuable to those that are on some type of wellness journey. Thirdly, I think foot traffic won't be as bad as everybody predicts, with the more like value oriented retail channels or retail partners getting a boost. That's great news for Walmart and Costco, each extremely strong in the category. And then finally, consider what's selling like crazy. Performance energy drinks are hot, sports or hydration drinks are hot, protein bars are roaring back with consumer mobility normalized, and protein snacks will sustain importance at home. What's kind of all that point to? Large retail getting the lion's share of dollars. This is because the entry point of buying a few mixed units during weekly grocery shopping trips or maybe a quick trip to the convenience store is much less friction than needing to commit to a 12 or 24 pack of a singular SKU through e commerce. Oh, and how does specialty retailer do? Because I know people are interested in that. Well, I predict the channel will be flat or maybe even down a few points. Shifting into the fourth sports and active nutrition industry trend prediction for 2023, I'm going to call this one flexing the brain. Like the first trend prediction about gut health, you could be scratching your head thinking cognitive health has been a trending area for some time, especially the last few years. So, why am I mentioning it now? It comes down to being intentionally patient because I wanted to see if the condition specific category would morph into something a little bit more relevant and actionable to the sports and active nutrition industry. Here's the deal: the decline in brain function is most often associated with the final third of your life. That means cognitive health usually gets overlooked by the average buyer of sports supplements. Well, that was until 2020 hit everyone like a freight train. Whether it was working from home while also balancing kids at home, or maybe just battling against the mental barrage of a completely new day to day reality. It brought a lot of new first time customers to cognitive health supplements. That's where we were, but where we're going is away from reactive, kind of triage like behaviors and more into proactive consumption. The cognitive health market now encompasses more young professionals, college students, gamers, and middle aged adults, most of which are realistic about the trade offs required to live a high achieving life. If they want it all, from the continual quest for knowledge to the desire to stay on top of their game in and outside of the gym, it won't be without a higher stressed emotional state. The constant distractions from 24/7 connectivity will have its negative consequences, even if they aren't in that last third part of their life. This will create major opportunities and drive the cognitive health market to new heights. Before the next sports and active nutrition industry trend prediction, I mentioned earlier that I believe the sports nutrition industry is the cultural epicenter for the entire CPG industry, but that's not 100% always accurate. Sometimes big food and beverage are way ahead of the sports nutrition space, and it usually is with elements that are outside of what's in the product. Since the final trend prediction isn't a nutraceutical ingredient or a product category, it holds true to what I just said, with sports nutrition severely lagging compared to the general CPG industry. But maybe it's the generational change finally making an impact in the space, or maybe it's because I just got back from a trip to First Form headquarters. But it's time to talk about what I've dubbed supplementing with purpose. Although every generation's attitudes evolve with age, today's changing consumer values are contributing to some of the disruption that the sports and active nutrition industry is experiencing right now. It is no longer enough to just sell sports supplements. That great product, it isn't enough. That excellent customer service, it's valuable, but also not enough anymore. Those cool labels, those charismatic influencers, whatever kind of surface level attribute you talk about, it's not going to be enough. Younger consumers have begun to perceive brands more like people rather than distant corporations, and are choosing to surround themselves with like minded brands. Purpose driven sports nutrition brands will begin dominating the conversation and successfully capitalizing on these changing values. I don't think there's a one size fits all purpose driven approach, so we will see progressive business models win, people first initiatives win, environmentally focused brands winning. Regardless, today's sports nutrition brands cannot ignore these mega trends anymore, and they should take advantage of the opportunities to present themselves as a friend with a clear purpose and a story that transcends their products in the minds of consumers. But what did you think of my sports and active nutrition industry trend predictions for 2023? Do you have other trends that maybe I overlooked and didn't consider? I'd love to hear about them by commenting below on this YouTube video or reaching out to me on any of my social media accounts that I always leave in the contents description. But I hope you enjoyed this YouTube video. If you did, consider hitting the like button to support me. Also, help me get to my short term goal of 2,000 subscribers by hitting that subscribe button. I'd love to see you join me on this journey, but we need to fix the fact that basically three-fourths of you that are watching this YouTube video right now are not subscribed to my channel, and that makes me extremely sad. But I do want to thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one.